Hi, this is Stefano Portigliatti. I'm a professor here at Florida Christian University. I'm also the vice president of SOAR Global Institute, which is a laboratory dedicated to studying how we behave and develop communication, motivation. And today we're going to talk about some of that work that we do at SOAR, specifically personality styles. Personalities are nothing new. They've been around for over 2,000 years. In fact, 440 years before Christ, Hippocrates was already talking about personality styles. More recently, in the last couple of hundred years, we also developed what's known as temperaments, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Back in the day, 2,000 some years ago, we used to talk about 32 personality styles, and over time, we were able to boil those down and identify common denominators, and from 32 we went to 16, and from 16 now we're down to 4. And if you've ever heard of the temperaments, there are the choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholic. Those translate into more current, if you will, more of a more practical language in personality styles. So that's what we're going to talk about. Where exactly do they come from? These 4 personality styles are really, they share 2 main behavioral tendencies. They're actually the product of the interplay between 2 behavioral tendencies that are better illustrated on the chart that we're going to draw together. So come with me. The very first one is what we call assertiveness. And assertiveness essentially means the need to affect the environment, to influence the environment according to what we think, feel, and believe. So to the right of that continuum are people with more of that need. And for example, I always tell the story of my dad, and he's okayed me to do this. I do it all the time now. I can be driving my car, going somewhere I want to go to, but the moment I enter a parking lot, if he's sitting next to me and I'm about to park, he's going to say something about the spot that I picked. No, don't park on that one. That's too close to the big truck. Or, no, you shouldn't park there. There's a bunch of birds right above you. Your car's not going to look good. He's always going to say something about where I'm parking, how I'm parking, or something like that. Now, a lot of people would think those things, but not everyone feels the need to express it, to externalize what they think, feel, believe. So to the very right of that continuum, the more assertive people have that need to put it out there. So typically, they are more talkative. They are more, if you will, assertive, really, in their actions. It's an easy way to put it. They have the need to externalize what they think, what they feel, what they believe. So we're going to anchor that with an exclamation mark. They think the world should be the way that they see it, they believe it, they feel it. So they value what's inside and want to externalize what's inside, all right? As we come left, as we go away from that end of the spectrum, of the continuum, at the center of the continuum is even. It's neutral, if you will. As we come left of the center, now this goes the opposite way. And instead of wanting to externalize the environment, according to what we think, feel, and believe, we want to internalize the environment. We want to adopt, assimilate, discern, receive from the environment in order to adapt our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs accordingly. So these are people that are a lot less expressionate, if you will. They're not as outspoken, right? Because they're taking things in instead of expressing them out. So naturally, they're going to want to know more about the environment. They're more concerned with what's going on around them. They're more observant. So we're going to anchor that sentiment with a question mark. That's continuum number 1. Another example I typically give, also related to driving, is that if I'm driving down a country road with no schools, no homes, no businesses around, and the speed limit is 35 miles an hour, I'm probably going to think, you know what, 35 seems too low. I think I could probably go 55, 60. And that's what I'll do. Why? Because what I think, what I feel, what I believe tends to trump if I believe it's better than what the environment has suggested. On the other hand, my mom, if the speed limit is 35, she will probably go 31.5 because she goes 10% below the speed limit, right? The speed limit is the speed limit, not what you're supposed to go at. She always goes 10% below it. And I can tell you, she's never gotten a speeding ticket. I can't say the same thing for myself. So that tells you sort of that difference of people putting out what they believe onto the environment, or on the other hand, assimilating the environment and adapting how they behave, what they think, to the environment. All right? And this will turn into much more complex concepts as we go forward. So that concludes this first continuum of assertiveness. Let's talk about the next one. This one is vertical, and we call it responsiveness. And the quick way to define that one is to ask what captures somebody's attention, focus with more intensity. Is it tasks, or the objective, or is it people, the relational aspect of the environment? Is it the goal of the environment, or is it the sentimental, emotional, relational aspect of the environment? So let's put up top tasks / objectives, and at the bottom let's put people. There's a story I like to tell about the soccer coach for the Argentinian team. In the 90s, early 90s, Argentina was one of the best teams in the world. They've kind of lost that claim over the last couple of decades, but they were winning World Cups and had very great players and a phenomenal coach that was given an interview. His name was Villardo. And toward the end of the interview, the gentleman asked him, "Mr. Villardo, you are so successful, so wise, you're so respected around the world for what you've done and how you've done it. I'm sure you understand that our kids idolize our soccer players. They worship them. They wear the jerseys with pride. They exchange the soccer cards, not baseball cards, soccer cards. They have the posters plastered around their bedrooms. Every boy, at least, has just dreamed of being one of these soccer players. Why would you make that horrible character, that bad example of a person, that criminal, womanizer, drug addict of Maradona, the captain of our national team? What example are you giving our kids?" And frankly, that was a question that a lot of people had asked themselves, because Maradona really was not a good example of a human being. He's better now, but he had some really rough patches. And Mr. Villardo does one of those, oh, here we go. And he says, "Look, my job is to win soccer games. It's not to give people examples. It's not to teach kids how to live their lives." So let's consider that answer on the board here. He said, "My job is to win soccer games, not to give example to children." What is his main concern? Where is his focus? Is it at the task or at the people? So clearly we understand that this man was more focused on the objective he had. He was not as concerned with how that came off relationally with kids that liked to watch and follow the soccer team. But interestingly, he said next, "When I put the band of captain on Maradona, he scores goals. If I take it out, he doesn't. Since I need to win soccer games, I put on him the armband for captain." Why did Maradona need the armband to score goals? Didn't affect his playing ability. Well, guess what? Maradona needed to be influencing the game. He needed to feel like he was in charge of the game. And when that need was met, he could produce. I'm sure you can think of somebody at work, maybe in your family, maybe a friend, that needs to be sort of dictating what happens, or at least feel like they're in charge in order for them to play along. And there's our first personality style. And there's not necessarily anything wrong or bad or good with that, okay? These personality styles just are. And that one is the dominant. The dominant personality has the need to influence the game, the objective, the task, the matter at hand. Now, we also have somebody that needs to influence the relations, the people, the emotional aspect of the environment. That one is the extrovert. On the other hand, we have people that are not necessarily wanting the world to be the way they think. To the contrary, they're looking to the world for cues, for procedure, for what's appropriate, whether it's in terms of relations or in terms of the tasks, the objectives, the matters at hand. If we start out with people, the people aspect of the environment, they're sensing others' emotions. They're taking in others' feelings. They care, they listen. They're caring people. That's the patient. Above it, opposite from those that want to influence people are the people that want to understand the tasks, study the tasks, analyze the tasks, the objectives, the matters. They're studious, right? Because they're taking in, they're detailed. That's the analytical. And there we have all four personality styles. Styles or types. No one is or has just one of these personalities. In fact, we're all a mixture of them. We all have a little bit and perhaps a lot of bit of one of these four, of all four of these personality styles. And it's that mixture, it's that combination that's unique to you, to me, and everyone we know. In fact, there will never be someone with the same exact personality style because we all have, although there's only four different essences, if you will, we all have varying degrees, a varying combination of the four essences. And that's what makes us special. That's what makes you, you. That's what makes you behave the way you do. To some extent, of course. We have other layers that affect our gross behavior, but our personality is right at the core of it. And we're born this way. Really, we have our personality is partly genetic and partly really early, very, very, very early childhood development. So we sort of get a personality style, and that's who we are for the rest of our lives. What really comes out of this area of study is understanding that because of where we may be on this board, we have different needs. Remember that I said that the assertiveness continuum is the need to influence the environment or the need to seek in the environment according to or what we think, feel, and believe. So the dominant has the basic core need to control and to advance. The extrovert has the need to connect and for recognition. The patient has the need for harmony and security. The analytical has the need for reason and to be correct. So what does that mean? If I ask you, why did we invent the wheel? Because we needed to move things more easily. Simple, right? A lot of the solutions we have are the product of our needs. So what happens when you have some of these basic needs is that you develop the skills necessary to meet those needs. So the dominant, with the need to control, I'm sorry, I forgot an L there. The need to control and advance. They have an innate ability to establish government. They have this sense of authority in them. They have self-confidence naturally. They can't take no for an answer because they need to be advancing, they need to be pushing the bounds, the borders, the paradigms. So we all develop specific abilities depending on what needs we naturally have. So really what we have are natural abilities that we develop in life to meet those basic needs that we have, that we can contribute to just about any environment. So going back to what is it that we take out of this, first is understanding that you have a personality style that's special to you, that makes you you. And in addition to changing what you like, what you need, how you behave, it also gives you unique abilities. And that combination of the 4 personality traits gives you a unique set of skills that you bring with you. So learning about these personality styles helps you identify, what do I have to bring to the table? What can I add? What value can I bring to a family, to a business, to a partnership, to an organization, to our society, to our humanity? You have your own unique set. And understanding what that set is, I think, can help us understand also our purpose here. Because I think there's a reason for us to have been endowed with our own personality styles, with our own kit of skills, a skill set. And when we begin to understand what that is, learn what that skill set is, I think we begin to understand why we're here, right? Because I'm not going to want to be a plumber if I have an electrician's tool set. Right? That's not my jam. I'm not going to go be a carpenter if my set is that of an electrician. So understanding what your skill set is helps you understand also, hey, these are the skill sets I was given. Why am I not in line with that? Or here's a good question. Why am I expecting other people that were given the electrician skill set to be a plumber for me? Be it your wife, your kids, your boss, your employees. So this helps us not only understand how we're made, why we act the way we do, but also it would help us understand other people better. Why do I think that person is a bit bossy? Why is this person always so needy? Why is this person so calm? Why is that person so meticulous? So perfectionist. And we begin to give them a break and understand, oh, that's their personality style. Yeah, they're a little bossy, but you know what? They bring a skill set that I don't have. And aside from understanding more of ourselves, we begin to appreciate others more. We begin to relate to each other better. We begin to really realize how our interconnectedness, our interdependence is what's really going to help us think more as a whole, consider more of this whole board, and build a team that's complete, that's well-rounded. But most importantly, our relationships can all be better if we understand first where we're coming from, second, who we're dealing with. So stick around. We're going to have another couple of videos now talking about each one of the personality styles in more detail. And I look forward to sharing some more time with you. Thank you for watching. If you appreciated this video, please give it a like and share it with somebody that you think would appreciate that information. By liking it and sharing it, you'll also be updated more often about the next videos that we launch, and hopefully we'll see each other again.